What?
What's up, everybody? Yes, yes, yes. It's us back again.
What's happening, everybody?
I hope
We
everybody's
are
enjoying
back
their
in the
Sunday.
building.
Yeah, we're back in the building. I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. It's a beautiful day up here in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. What's the weather like down in Baltimore?
It's 91 degrees down here right now. Pretty damn hot. And I'm not a
Yeah,
heat person. I'm not a fan of heat. I like fair weather. I like 75, 80-degree weather. I was a spring baby, so that's my kind of
yeah.
weather.
It's hot up here too. The beauty of it is that we get that nice breeze off the water, so it's comfortable. It's a beautiful day. It's a good time to be out.
See,
So
and see, he always gotta exaggerate, and rubbing people faces that they live close to the beach. You know, no, nobody care. Nobody don't care.
I tell you what though, after years and years and years of living on the shore, it don't excite me like it might for some people. I mean, a beach is just a beach to me at this point. I know everybody. Oh, let's get up on early this weekend. Let's go to the beach. Let's have a good time. Yeah, that threw a wall up a long, long, long time ago, folks. But I
Yeah,
do love
you
this
over
life,
that.
though. I must admit.
You over that, huh?
Yeah, I've been over it for a while. We don't, maybe we the people who live here, like myself, take it for granted. But whatever. I know a lot
It's
of
it's
people.
probably it's probably the same as the folks down there at Seaside Heights. We get a joy of going down to Seaside Heights, and they live there, so they like, this ain't nothing new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for speaking for myself, I'd rather all these people did not come down here, so we'd be able to at least be able to park around our houses and the traffic wasn't so screwed up because the people come down here have no sense of direction, and
Right.
so I'd rather they didn't. But it is what it is. Everybody loves Asbury Park. I guess I shouldn't complain. People are making money, and that's a good thing.
There it is. Whoop. There it is. Speaking of money, today's show, we're talking about the gun violence in America, and money probably plays a big part of a lot of the gun violence that we're seeing in America, especially amongst a certain group of folks that indulge in a certain activity in life.
Well,
Um,
I say
these turf,
this for my own opinion. Some people want to look at the Second Amendment as if what was planned then, back in the 1700s, can apply today in 2022 and beyond.
mhm,
Back then, they didn't have machine guns like we have now. They didn't have such high-powered weapons, with the large capacity that these guns can hold these days. So
right,
no one knew that it was going to be a killing field out here when they made the Second Amendment. My view is
right.
things have got to change. And I believe most people in this country share that opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't even most. I would say I'm venture out to say pretty much all the people agree. Even the folks that's using them, to a degree, agree with the senseless use of guns these days. And some countries they don't even have guns on their police force.
Yeah, in some places. As we want to welcome on Debbie to the conversation. Hello.
Good
Hello.
afternoon, Auntie.
Glad to be here.
We're glad you're here. You got something going on today. What you getting into?
I'm in full Aunt Debbie mode.
Right.
I am in Maryland, babysitting for three children that are belong to a nephew and a niece.
Well, that is a beautiful thing to be doing. Helping
So
out.
Right,
if a little
right.
girl comes running in here, and I have to, I have to be Aunt Debbie.
Well, that's okay.
It,
People got things going on today. I know, cuz boom, you got some things going on today. What you doing?
yeah. I'm at a wedding. I'm actually sitting outside the wedding, the hall right now. The ceremony starts at 2:45, so I'm here. I'm here for the first 45 minutes of the show, making it do what it do. But it's so funny. I was telling him when we first planned this, I was like, "Well, I don't do nothing on Sundays. Yeah, let's do it on Sundays from 2 to 3. Da 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 da." Now all of a sudden, every time I turn around, I got something going on the Sunday. But such is life. So we make it do what it do when it need to be done. And here we are.
That's right. Every Sunday, and it's summertime, so we get it. People got events planned and everything. It's a beautiful thing. Congratulations to the bride and groom. Um,
Absolutely.
it's it,
I'll let them know you said so.
it's a beautiful thing, and I mean people are busy, and we get that. But we wanted to touch in on this topic because it's very serious. As we see people enjoying their summers, people getting out, going to different places. We were just talking about the beach. I know my wife is on her way to the mall with her sister. They doing some shopping, spending money, whatever. But as we go out and about our days these days, life is different. Life is
Very,
different. There's an 800-pound
very.
gorilla in the room, and that's gun violence. And it's happening everywhere. Nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe,
Right.
people. And I think you all know that. Everybody watches the news, and it's happening everywhere. Small town America, large cities. It doesn't matter. And practically every day. I think I turned on the TV today. I think I saw another shooting. Well, New York City right now, much as I love New York, is the dangerous place. I just want to say that. I'm up here in Jersey, and we seeing what's going on. Like I said, another shooting. It was a barbecue. I think
Was a
I
shooting.
think it said a 6-year-old got shot.
Wow.
Come on, people, come on, people. The babies ain't even safe no more. You know, I wasn't gonna rush right
Right.
into it, but it's fresh on everybody's mind. The shooting in Uvalde, 19 children and 2 teachers murdered in
Right.
their classrooms. Now, I come from a time where that wasn't even a thought when you went to school.
Right. Right. School and home was safe. Now, school and home not safe anymore.
Home invasion.
You know what I mean? There was a time where when you got home, you was good. I'm good at home. The bullies are outside. Everything is outside. Blah blah blah. And now
They
you
cut
don't
you
even
out.
know if home is safe. You know, poor decision making. I read an article about a 9-year-old girl that was shot by her mother's boyfriend.
Mm,
Shot and killed.
mm,
Shot and killed this 9-year-old girl by her
mm,
mother's boyfriend. Poor decision making. You
mm.
know, as the father of that child, that guy would have never made it to court or nothing because nothing wouldn't have stopped me from getting to him and her.
Right.
Um, poor decision making, and you just feel like your hands are tied. Like what can you do? What can you do about the gun violence in
Uh,
America? Like
uh,
the
and then
first thought people do is they go to the gun. Like that's that's never my first thought. It's really not. Like I will be the first one to jump up with the fist or whatever. But the first thought is let me go get the gun. I'll tell you a story about a guy. I don't know him, but it bothered me a lot where I tell my wife that nothing happens good after really I say 11 o'clock, but especially midnight. So this guy and his friends decide they're gonna go hang out, right? They're down at this place. They're leaving. The guy calls his wife, says, "Babe, I'm on my way home. Yeah, we paying our bill now, and I'm on my way home."
mm,
Subsequently, he never made it home because on the way out of the place, he tripped over something, stumbled something, and fell into somebody. And of course, you know, oh, I'm sorry. You apologize, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where the group of guys that they stumbled into, what the guy telling the story was the friend, and he was like it seemed like they were just adamant on causing
Wanting to
trouble.
fight.
because as much as they apologized, it was a mistake. It just the other group just kept egging it and egging it and egging it and egging it, and subsequently, the guy who stumbled into the guy got shot. 30 years old, got a wife at home, and all I imagine is me being on the phone telling my wife that I'm on my way home and I don't come home, and she trying to figure out where the hell I am, because the first thought is not something happened. The first thought is this nigga is doing something.
Well,
That's the first thought.
that's a tragic story in of itself, and again, these things are happening everywhere, not just nightclubs, not just between black people, between or white people. This is across the board. Like I said, schools ain't even safe. They're doing something now in schools that I never thought we'd be what we were talking about, and they're practicing. They're actually practicing and going through drills for active shooters in the
Yeah, for
school,
active
which
shooters.
I think is
Hmm.
incredible. Now, Joe Biden just signed a bill. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think maybe yesterday, was it? He just signed the brand new bipartisan, which is important, gun legislation to try to help the situation. Uh, they're addressing a lot of things in this new legislation. Not everything that I wish. I wish they would ban these assault weapons. Some people might disagree. And please, if you do, comment. We want you to call the numbers 440-9314, 732-440-9314. We want you to comment. We want you to be part of the conversation. But I wish they would ban assault weapons altogether. But some of the things they did do was they did expand background checks, and they also addressed uh, mental health in this bill. And they're spending a lot of money to address the people's mental health in this country, which I thought was a big deal too. Because if you look at these shooters, not all of them, but a lot of them, like the one who shot up the school in Texas, and the shooter actually up here who shot up the supermarket in Buffalo, New York. For those who don't know, you should know because it's all over the news. Not only was his motivation racism, but he was dealing with some mental health issues as well. So maybe you guys want to chime in on the mental health side of it too.
I'll let Aunt Debbie speak.
I do have something I'd like to bring to the airwaves. One is that we live in a culture of violence.
Mm,
And so the violence that we see on the street is a reflection of the violence that is the ideology of governments.
Yep.
We have a saying in metaphysics that the above reflects the below reflects the above. And
interesting.
so what we see in the streets with the everyday man, the everyday person, is a reflection of the culture that we live in that says go to violence first. And I remember when 9/11 happened, and the then president, his first response was, "Let's get them, let's get them." He didn't say, "What are they saying? What do they want? Why?" Like there was no sense of questioning or dialogue. Just violence begets violence. And certainly the people who are mentally ill are are reflectors of the kind of violent culture that we live in. It coalesces in them. It's intensified in them, but it is the violence of the everyday person.
Mm,
So when things happen in the world that just overwhelm me, in the country, in my city of New York, that overwhelm me, and I just think it's too big for me to handle, I always ask myself, am I indeed powerless? And the first line of power for me is to observe the ways that I might be violent
mm,
in,
right. Well,
subtle ways.
the
Whether
mental
it's
the mental health side of it can go a few different ways. Well, obviously we see it in the form of wanting to harm others. But this I found interesting too. That almost half of gun deaths in this country are caused by is suicide. I did not know that. That mental illness can also cause you to harm yourself and want to take your own life. That is a big number. I didn't know that many people were killing themselves. I really didn't know, because I don't want to say I'm blind to it, but I have never known anyone in my entire life who committed a suicide. Or I don't know any family member who had a family member who committed suicide. I don't know if that's a bigger thing in a white community, and I'm only saying that because I don't know the answer.
Mm.
Or is it a thing across the board? I don't know.
Smoking cigarettes,
Hmm?
drinking, eating fried foods,
How does these contribute to these things?
slower suicide.
Oh, that's
It is slow.
I hear what you're saying, but I mean for suicide by
Slow.
guns. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but the gun might be considered an intensification of the consciousness of the culture that we live in. So when you say suicide, yes, you're talking about gun suicide, and which men usually prefer gun suicides. I think women find
I
other
did
ways.
not
And
know
I
that,
think,
because I could never
yeah,
shoot myself.
well.
I'm not trying to make light of it. People,
No, I mean, yes, let's make light of it. Let's make light, enlightenment of this.
okay.
I mean, because that's what we're here for. If we're just here to say, oh my God, it's so terrible, we have an opportunity, one, to watch our language. And I know this isn't the Aunt Debbie show, so just like cut my mic when,
No,
um,
it's fine.
but
Go ahead and
when
speak.
we say that nowhere is safe, we're perpetuating that not safety, because what we focus on magnifies. That's on the spiritual tip.
Hmm.
You hear me what I say?
Mm.
So what we think magnifies. So it is not true that nowhere is safe. I'm safe right here today. I'm safe if I cross the street. There's more safety than there is non-safety. So let's not let the unsafe have it. Let's begin with our language and say we want to live. Let's assert our vision of peace, our vision of safety. But if I'm told that I live in a violent city, how am I supposed to feel? I'm going to feel unsafe,
Hmm.
jittery, and now I'm a
Hmm.
target. You
Right.
see what I
Right.
mean?
I don't know. I see what
So,
you mean.
so how can we address this subject and empower people to find all the power that ever was or will be is here right now, and that's a universal power. How do we lean
I
into that?
understand the point that you're trying to make. Basically, we have to go on with our lives. We don't want to live in fear, but I think it's important to recognize the world we're living in and what's going on around us, and recognize the fact that we have to live differently. All of us want to go home to our families at the end of the day. We need to. We need to go home to our families at the end of the day. So when we go out, like I just said, what happened in Buffalo, that was a supermarket. When we go out to the supermarkets, when we send our kids to school, I couldn't even imagine parenting these days, sending your child to school, not wondering what was going to happen. That was something that our parents never had to think about. Churches, who would have thought? Who would ever thought? And it's not just black churches, synagogues too, who have been shot up, people have been murdered. The Asian temple in California, shot up. It's when you go to these public spaces, you have to think differently than we thought decades ago. Because this is the reality, that you just don't know what somebody is thinking in that particular moment, or what they might have on. And the fact is, even though we probably need to have more security in places, more metal detectors everywhere, they're not everywhere. They're not everywhere. The Supreme Court, they just confirmed the law allowing citizens to carry concealed weapons everywhere. Now cities are starting to try to work out what spaces we can say you can and what spaces you can't. Everybody's scrambling to try to work that out. But they are now allowing citizens to carry concealed weapons out on the streets. Could you imagine? Like it's the OK Corral. I know they don't want that in New York City. We definitely don't want that in Jersey at all. But this is what's given to us now by this conservative party that we're dealing with.
Well, it's almost the dynamic, even though this stuff is movies, and I tell people this all the time. Movies come from somewhere. So even though it's a movie, the movie what is it? We was just watching it. And they made three movies about it where they 24 hours for 12 hours. The Purge. So for 12 hours, you could do whatever you want. You know, you could kill, rob, murder. You could do it all. Steal for 12 hours. And once the 12 hours, or was it 24 hours? One of the two.
24, I think.
When I see a lot of the things that's going on, and then another point to point out, most of these people committing these mass shootings are young people. Between the ages of 17 and 21.
Yep.
Literally. So where are they getting the weapons from? Because they can't go and buy it from the store.
No, they can.
Do this and do that.
You could buy guns in a lot of these red states. You could buy guns at the age of 18 in a lot of these red states. Right. Oh yeah, you can. That's how the shooter in Texas got his machine gun. And actually, you were allowed to own guns earlier than that, but to get the machine gun, he had to be 18. And so soon, the day he turned 18, what did he go do? He went and bought a machine gun. Yes. So back to the legislation that was passed. Even though we got some things out of it, I think they're going to do some good. I wish they would have went further. It just, to me, just didn't go far enough. And let's talk about the reality. The reality is these weapons are out there now. They are not going away. This is the future. There's not going to be less guns on the street because the fact is more and more people are buying them. There's going to be more guns out here. More. Everybody's going to be armed to the teeth. It is going to be incredible. And so I think you might have spoke on it, but people, when we talk about people, we're dealing with human beings, and human beings are emotional. Let's face it. And you're gonna have people getting shot over all kind of crazy, stupid reasons. It's silly.
Getting cut off in traffic.
I see Sherelle chiming in. What's up, Sherelle?
Hey, I'm sorry, because this is a touchy subject for me because I'm actually in law enforcement, so it's a touchy.
I know. So we appreciate
crazy
the
out
commentary.
here.
Yeah, it is crazy out here, and I think a lot of people in law enforcement, I know up here, they're against a lot of these things that these Republicans are doing as far as flooding the street with all these guns. They don't want to see all these guns out there. I think I know the police union up here in our area, they don't want these machine guns in the hands of these people. No, it's more dangerous for them now. You know, I had a friend send me 2 months ago this footage of a police officer. Wow, this was Texas too, being murdered. He was actually part of an investigation of a guy who's supposed to be running drugs or whatever from Mexico, and he was supposed to stop him just to get him stopped, and reinforcements were going to come and help him to make the actual arrest. Well, the dude gets out with the gun. He gunned the officer down before he could get his help. The whole story ended trapped. The officer had a family like most officers do. And so it's dangerous out here for even police officers right now. And the sad thing is, it's not going to change. These guns, these weapons are out there. They're in the hands of people already. And if you don't have one, you can get one easily. Now, me, myself, I don't own a gun. I despise them. But now, that being said, I am going to get one. Because that is the reality of the world that I'm living in. And I have a family to protect. And so everybody has to make their own decisions for themselves. But because of the current environment, I will very shortly be a gun owner. That being said, I don't have one right now, but if I needed one, I could get one in the drop of a hat. Believe that. And that's good and bad. You think about it.
Right. Right.
Guns, in and of themselves, is an inert material.
Right,
Guns don't just start flying in the air
right.
and shooting. The smallest, the common denominator about guns is the people who shoot them,
Human beings.
and the people and the young people who shoot off guns are angry people. So I appreciate any laws about guns, anything that will reduce guns in the street. But we also have to take a look at how angry the children are. And that includes looking at the parents who raised them, because many parents raise their children violently. Many parents are bullies because they're right. They will bully their children.
Mm.
And the parents who are overly permissive, sure, you can stay up till 3 a.m. No, you don't have to eat their vegetables. That's on my mind because I'm dealing with eating vegetables on my job here. Overly permissible
Oh, I agree with
people
that 100%.
are also not in touch with what's going on with their children. We
Mm.
don't know how to dialogue. We don't know how to look.
Building a
There is
bomb in a
no
garage and you
way.
don't even know.
There is no way a child of mine could have a gun and be that violently angry, and I not have sniffed that out
Some
and taken
right.
some.
And, right.
Yeah, it's
That
amazing
some
how these kids can be doing something in their room and their parents are not allowed to enter, or out of the garage. And you said I can have my own space out there. Oh, I'm not going to bother you. And they're out there doing all this wicked stuff. And you don't
Mhm,
even know
mhm,
about it.
mhm, mhm,
right.
That was not
mhm,
my mama's house. We was lucky we had
mhm,
doors on our rooms.
mhm.
Right.
We was lucky we had doors on our rooms.
Cursing at children, cursing in the presence of children. And I often have to watch my mouth because I was raised by a cursor and it can come up, although now it's my responsibility to, you know, parent myself. But a gun is an extension of what we say. It's the last word in many cases, but it's an
It is.
extension of that. And so when we're looking at something so overwhelming, I think it's most powerful to go to the smallest common denominator and begin the healing there. I think that is with our children and how they're raised by us as
Yes.
parents, by the school system, and anybody, the doctors and anybody that they encounter in their everyday life, including television.
Well, it takes a village. It takes a village. It really does. Um,
You guys real quick. I'm gonna step away and go ahead and go inside. I'm gonna still be here. I'm just
yeah.
gonna not be on film, and I'll have the what's the name in my ear,
All
so
right,
I'll
listen,
still be
you're
here.
gonna do what you're gonna do. We're gonna continue the conversation. And again, I want people to chime in. If you have any comments you want to make or you want to talk about it, you have some insight on this topic, please go ahead and call us 732-440-9314 or reach out to us in the comment section. We'll be happy to post your comments. And so again, we're talking about gun violence in America, and we're speaking on a number of different things. We touched on mental illness, we touched on suicide and everything. We talked about people, what's going on in people's homes and in their hearts. Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
this is a very polarized
I
nation
should
right
have got
now.
the bag.
There's a
Dang.
lot of hate
Oh,
in people's hearts right now, and it's not just political hate; it's racial. It's across the board. And unfortunately, we come to the point where people just are selling their differences in a violent way, very violent way. Everything's starting to lead to a gun. Everything from you stepped on my shoe, or to just being an innocent victim in gang violence, which I see happen a lot too. You know, kids going to
you can't see who that
supermarkets
is.
or these corner stores and gangs having shootouts while these kids are out during the day. Things like that. It's playing out everywhere across the country. But It's not just the gangs that are doing these shootings. It's these little kids in these urban areas too, out in these homes, who probably been hunting most of their lives with their family. They are taking out their anger with guns too. It's across the board, everybody. And I guess the bigger question is, what can we do as a nation to try to change people, to try to change people's hearts and minds? Because the bottom line, these guns are out there and available, and people can get them. There's no way around that. So we have to start changing ourselves, I think, is the answer. The answer is not trying to get all the guns off the street. That's an impossible mission. It's impossible, folks. And even if President Biden was able to get a gun ban in place in this legislation that he just passed, keep in mind that there's already thousands of them out there. They're already out there. They are already out there. And people out there, because human beings are what they are, there are people out there right now who are trying to figure out ways around this legislation. Trust me when I tell you. As we speak, they're trying to think of ways to get around what the president just passed. This is the country we live in. So the answer is not eliminating guns. That's an impossible mission. You're never going to do it, ever. So we have to change ourselves. How do you do it? How do we do it? I don't know. I'm hoping somebody can call in, maybe knows more on this topic than I do, and they can provide us with some answers, because I just don't know. I don't think you could just be up in Congress or be the president and legislate this away. I think maybe it starts with what you were talking about on Debbie. It just starts in the home with changing our children. And hopefully moving forward, they can have a better solution to how we deal with this whole thing.
Gee, I clearly don't have the answers. This is not my bailiwick.
Yeah.
What I have done the most work on in life is rage and anger, and now people say, "Oh Lord, here she go talking about anger again." But when we're talking about anger and rage, we're talking about, in many cases, just a distortion of our power. And people who feel powerless shoot people. A person who stands, who is centered and confident, will look at you eye to eye and ask for what they want. Right. They will create change. But what is happening is a lot of people are afraid, frightened, angry, or mentally ill. And when we think of mental illness, fear is part of a mental illness. It's a matter of degree. Anger, when people are when people just feel as if, their only recourse is to curse somebody out and brag about it.
Wow.
So sure, I call them all kinds of sons of bitches, and they're proud about it.
Well, we live in a tri-state area, so we know how people are.
Well, and I would say those people aren't being their true selves. Those people are doing as they were raised. I could listen to young people and know how their parents treated them.
Oh, wow.
By how they treat other children.
Oh, wow.
You can tell that they were cursed at and put down, because that's how they will treat other children.
Now, I wasn't cursed at as a kid. I come from that era where the adults didn't really curse around a kid unless you just had a disruptive home. If you had, if your home situation wasn't the best. But mine wasn't like that. My mom didn't cuss at all. Now I'm thinking about it. But I picked it up. I picked it up heavy. I gotta admit, being on the streets, my mom, she was alone with the five of us for a long time before she married my stepfather. And so that allowed me a lot of freedom that I probably normally wouldn't have had, to be out in the streets. Not that my mother wanted me to, people, not at all. But the opportunity was there because my mother had to work and try to provide for the five of us, my sisters and brothers and I. And so she was gone a lot. which of course, yeah, like a lot of young black men, the streets were there, and it absorbed me.
Mm-hmm.
And because of
Mm-hmm.
that, I witnessed a lot of violence. I've been shot at. I've had guns pulled out on me. I am
No,
lucky to be
oh
alive
my
right now.
God.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be alive right now. And so somebody was smiling down on me, and I survived the streets. I, su- I survived. But unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of our young brothers, they're not surviving.
And look at how you're using your passion. So we're
Mhm.
not talking about a person who doesn't have any energy and has suddenly become good and angelic with no life force. So I think it's your how you integrated what you were exposed to in your home
Mhm.
and on the streets. It's how you integrated it, but
Mhm.
you have confidence, and oh my God, the way you speak, you have power.
Well, thank
And
you very
so
much.
even to design a broadcast such as this says that you're going to do something to make a
Oh, I hope
difference
so.
in the world.
I hope so, because I really want to. I mean, I am one of those people who I'm not a very religious person. I'll say that up front, but I love this
Hmm.
world. I think it's a big, beautiful world. I'm not always looking at the dark side of it,
Hmm.
even though that's the topic we're doing today. I'm rarely looking at the
Hmm.
dark side. I love people. I love to meet new people. I think people are beautiful.
Hmm.
Not all of them, of course, but the majority of people are beautiful. It's a beautiful planet. And so for those, I encourage you, don't sit around in your house watching those four walls. Get out and see the world. Even if you're going for a walk
Yeah.
to the local park or going on a hike, get out
Yeah.
there, get the fresh
Yeah.
air.
Don't let them have it. You see, don't let them have the
Oh, beautiful.
street.
Well said.
Shaheen, a couple of months ago, well, we've already started. I live in New York City and I live in Harlem, New York City, and not in the gentrified area either. I live in what they call the hood.
Oh, okay.
And one day I walked out of my building and I saw a man like rolling a joint, and just there's a window outside the building, but
Mhm.
he's got made a little table and he's rolling a joint. And as I passed him, I thought, I should have said something. Right, because I'm like,
Yeah,
you
but you
know,
have to be
so I
careful.
go to the store, but hold on, I go to the store, I come back, and he's still there, like this is his living room, and he's, doing his thing. And this
Right,
is not,
right,
I'm not making a judgment on cannabis. This
right.
is about, the
Respect.
appropriateness of where you do it. So this
Yeah.
time, as I was coming back, I noticed that a neighbor, this man I had never seen before, but a neighbor with whom I'm familiar was there. So I said, I'm going to say something. And I very nicely asked him to not do that in front of my building.
Yes.
And he cursed me out.
Oh my God.
He paused. But you know what was so funny? He had a Caribbean accent and I didn't quite understand him. So I'm going like, what? What?
Yeah, yeah,
Which made me look fearless. Right?
yeah.
And I said, and he just went off. And my neighbor who I knew, didn't say a thing. He lives in the next building, but I still felt it was better him being there. And when I got upstairs, I just said, "Oh Lord, what have I done?" Because I thought next time I come out, he was so rageful. But you know what? He never did it again. They stopped doing that in front of that particular building.
Right.
And what I also do is when I would see him, I would say hi, and he for months he didn't speak, but now he does, because I want them to know you do own these streets, my brothers, and so do I. You
Yes.
don't own them. So for me, I have to have the courage of speaking up. Now, mind you, if they were shooting guns, I wouldn't be saying, stop it, shooting that. I would
It's a
get
different
inside.
gun. You got
So
to be
I'm not
careful.
suggesting that people just have a disregard for their lives.
Right.
But I'm glad I took that risk and stood up, and that's what we need from more people in the neighborhood. I think it's up
It's
to
tough.
some degree,
It's a
it's up
scary
to
thing.
us to own our streets.
No, I agree, but it's a tough, scary thing. I mean, I'm a little confrontational in that regard. If I see something I don't like, I will say something. But my wife even had to remind me that I got to change my ways. I got into an argument with a dude maybe I don't know, a couple of weeks about, because naturally me, I confronted him about something, that I didn't appreciate, and my wife had to be the
Mm-hmm.
one to say like, you got to stop it. You got to stop it because you're going to get yourself killed out of here over nothing. And I had to really
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Like, she's actually right. She's actually right. This is not that generation where I come from, where people fought and everybody went their separate ways at the end of the day. You can get killed over the simplest things out here. That's crazy.
Yeah, because people's fuses are short, and people feel so disempowered, except by the power of their fists, the gun, their tongue.
The gun emboldens people. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're much braver with the gun than without it. That's for sure. You're more likely to do certain things that you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't normally do if you had a gun on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people even get more confrontation when they're having a weapon. So I understand the fear that's going around now that people are going to be able to carry concealed weapons. So you're not even going to know. You could be standing in a candy store and the guy right next to you could be packing. You would never. You could not even know. That's a scary thought, because this notion is that, well, if you had one good guy with a gun, he can stop the bad guy. Well, all we need is two guys just squeezing away at each other, in the
Yeah,
middle of somewhere.
yeah,
Even that's
yeah.
dangerous.
And we do have to be alert to our surroundings, look around. I have been with men who have said to me, "Come on, Deborah, let's go this way," because he's carrying a gun. I'm like, "What?"
Mm,
I don't see it. Because he can recognize the signs.
right.
Like he can. So I think we do have to learn um, to observe our environment. If
Oh,
a
yeah.
fight breaks out, right in front of you, don't just. Well, I live past there. Don't go past. Stop. Take a look. I think we do have to use our judgment and become alert to the signs of possible judgment. And one of the things that I do in my neighborhood is I say hello to everybody. That's my contribution.
Yeah, I
I
think, yeah.
show the men on the block, and they're mostly men, and sometimes
Mhm.
there are women. I show them love. When I'm going down the street, I say hello, and I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to say on this broadcast what I think they might be doing.
Yeah, no.
Talk about being safe, right? So I'm
Yeah,
not going to tell you where I live. But I show love, and it is sincere. And some of
right.
those people didn't even say hello to me for the first 5 or 6 years that I lived there.
Right.
Because I moved from out of town, I probably have the glow of Brooklyn still on me. But I do believe in the power of love. And I know this is where people go, "Oh gosh, she's talking about love." But I think it is the most potent and underutilized force
Right.
that we have.
I agree. I agree. Well, since you brought up New York City, though, let me ask you, how do you feel about the current situation in New York City, as far as the subways, the violence that sometimes comes up there, or in general in the city right now?
Well, I'm prayerful. I do my meditation, my prayers. I feed my ancestors a little coffee and say, because I'm not a cooking girl, so they don't get breakfast. But and I ask for guidance. I do believe that we're all guided, and I believe that the guidance will tell me, don't don't go that way, go a different way. I believe the guidance sometimes make me lose my keys, which means that I've now left 10
Minutes
minutes
later,
later. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to rationalize what I hope you're comfortable with me sharing this aspect of my personality, but
No,
I talk to my guides and I ask to be kept safe.
right.
And I understand also that what's precious about my life is the life I'm living in this very moment, and I don't
Mm,
make judgments about death. Someday we're going to die, and
yes.
we don't know when or we don't know how. I asked for a long life, so I drink plenty water, so I take care of myself. But when I need to get on the subway, I go. And I know lots of New Yorkers say, well, I don't take the subways. And I say, well, then you either home or you have a car. I don't have a car. I do have a home that I love, but if I have to go out, I go on the subway. I'm not saying that, but I am aware that there are crazy people out there.
Yes.
I try not to fall asleep on the subway. Which I have done for years. I've taken, whole naps on the subway. I
Who
stay alert,
who
but
hasn't?
I mean, it's so comforting. It just lulls me to sleep. But I'm alert. I am alert. I pay attention. I look around. I was once in my 20s. I was on a train at 2 a.m. I think DJ Boom said nothing good happens after 12. But I had left a party I didn't want to be at, and I looked across and I looked at a man and I said, drug addict.
Uh,
And then some other part of me said, "Oh, Deborah, just stop it. You always judging people." So I didn't judge him. I got off the train, and so did he. Well, that mofiki mugged me, and I'm going to smile for you so you could see my tooth.
okay.
That's the result of being mugged. I don't know if you could see my
Oh, now
dark
this
tooth.
is
Yeah, that was the
that's a,
result of being mugged.
that's
So,
horrible.
so I say to myself, my intuition told me that something was wrong with that man, and I didn't listen to it. So the next time I call it, I'm just going to call it and go the other way, or I don't know what I really could have done because it was 2 a.m. If I had stayed on the train, I think so could he have. But ooh, 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 well, I won't tell that story.
Don't get
I
so
had another
excited.
story about the power of being fearless. Oh, can I tell it real quick?
Yeah,
I'll make it 2 minutes.
yeah.
I'm in an unfamiliar neighborhood. I'm waiting for the bus, and the bus is not coming. I look behind me. There's a park with some characters in it, and I begin to feel extremely uncomfortable.
Right.
And this bus isn't coming, and I don't even know where I am. So what I did was I turned around and walked up to those characters who were scaring me, who I felt threatened by. I walked up to them and I said, "Excuse me, but I'm waiting for the bus and I don't feel safe. Would you look out for me? Would you protect me?" And and I saw one guy, his eyes were shifting, and he got off the bench and he says, "I'll look after you. I'll protect you." He walked me to the bus stop and he said, "Those guys were going to jump you." I think I think that was smart of me to
Wow.
walk up
That
to
was
the
brave,
perpetrator. And I'm
first of
not
all.
preaching this. What did I say? Don't try this at home. I'm not preaching it, but I want to show you the power. I want to demonstrate the power of fearlessness. Why are you laughing, DJ Boom?
Oh, I just told a joke,
Oh,
and my wife made me laugh.
hi,
Hey, Terrell, how you
beautiful.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I don't let the fear dominate your life. Let awareness be your guide.
yeah. I think that speaks back to what you were saying. Don't let them have it. Don't let them have the streets. Don't let them have this world. There's still a lot of good people in it, and we need to take it back.
Hmm.
I know it's hard to do, people. I know it's hard to do, but we got to figure out a way to take the world back in a sense. We can feel some safe going to our concerts and to our cookouts and everything else during the summer and any other months. Like I said, we can't get these guns off, but we can change ourselves. All right, we can change it. Start with these kids and in our homes. Teach them better. Everything doesn't have to end with a weapon or a gun or a fight. Disagreements can end with words. They can be worked out with words. Yes, as
Mm-hmm.
hard as that is to believe.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason for a person to die from a gun, and let's make that happen. Hard as it may be, I think we can, as long as we do it as a nation. That means forget your political parties, forget your races. We have to do it together.
Listen, I
Ashe.
don't walk around.
Ashe.
I don't walk around at
Mhm.
all in fear. If I did, I wouldn't do what I do. I go out by myself. I'm moving hundreds of dollars worth of equipment by myself,
Right.
late at night, all that type of stuff. I do not walk around in fear. I do walk around with awareness as to what's happening around me, but I don't walk around in fear because in walking around in fear, I'm just going to bring that energy to me, and I just avoid it altogether. I've been
Ashe.
doing this for 8 years with no incidences, none, and it's going to continue that way. But you're right though. We have got to figure out a way to start with us and changing what's happening around us because that's the only way it's going to change is to start with us. And like you said, that's for everybody, not black, not white, not there's everybody.
It's
It's
across the board.
everybody got to make a change, and you got to start with yourself.
Well said. Well said. Now, that being said, people, we got some new things we want to talk about also. We got some new segments we want to add to the show for everybody out there to try to make it more fun for everybody out there that's tuning in. Like we said in the beginning, we're going to try different new things. We want to make this the best show we can for you guys. And so we're going to add another segment. It's going to be a game that we're going to play with you guys. And we're going to do this every week. We're going to challenge you on one day and we're going to give you the answers on the next day. And this week we're gonna start off with Aunt Debbie.
You're going to start off with me? Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a giveaway. It's a giveaway that you will want and you will benefit from. It's
Okay.
called it's an astrology reading. So I make my life as an astrologer. I'm also an artist and I'm also an aunt. But now I'm showing up as the astrologer. I'm looking up my question. So I have a question for you, and
Okay,
I'd
audience.
like you to give me an answer that I like, and then you'll get a free 45-minute astrology reading. And here's the question: how does astrology help us to live better lives?
All
Now,
right.
I know that we're in the age of Google and folk will start Googling it. That's okay. But what I'm asking for is 15 to 25 words. And if you do 30, you'll still qualify. So I'm going to read the answers and see which one speaks to me the most. And you would be the winner of a free astrology reading.
All
And if
right.
you want to see the kind of work that I do, you could look on my website at www.visioncarriers.com so you could see that you'll be getting a top-notch astrologer.
All right. There you go, viewers. Y'all heard it right
Yeah.
here. Y'all heard it right there. Y'all heard the question. We're going to be looking for the answer. You have a whole week to dream it up. I think 15 to 20 words was we're looking for. All right. And then on Debbie will give you your prize of a 45-minute astrology reading. All right. So we're going to be looking forward to those answers. Definitely chime in. You can comment. You can also send it to our emails. Mine is Shaheem at from the shore to be more.info. And DJ Boom, what's yours again?
DJ Boom at From the Shore to Be More.info.
There you go. And you can get at us with the answers. And on Debbie's has your prize waiting for you. And this again, we're gonna be doing this every week, people. Try to make it more fun for you. And we hope we are. We hope you are. Also, big announcement while we got you guys' attention. Boom and I are gonna be throwing our first big listening party on July 30th, Saturday, July 30th for you guys. And at this event is where I'm also going to be shooting the video for my new song, Weightless. That's right, people. We have a video shoot going on that day, and my song is coming out. It's going to be fire, and I'm going to be dropping that real soon. Boom has already been playing it. Thank you for your support, cuz. As usual, and I'm getting nothing but good responses from this song. So I can't wait to shoot the video, and I want you all to be there.
I want to hear the song. What is it called?
It's called Weightless, and it's just the feel of getting that weight off your shoulders. You know,
Weightless, Weightless.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I feel like the world has been through so much now that we just need that energy of getting that weight off our shoulder. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. And so this song, I think, speaks to this moment. And so we're going to be shooting that video at our listening party, like I said, July 30th, people. And we want to see you all there. I'll be making more announcements and sending out more information as the weeks go on. But like I said, I'm looking forward to having everybody there. We want you in the video.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can I dance?
It's a party song, so whatever makes you feel good. Also, I want to go through the rest of these announcements too. For anybody who's interested in anime cosplay, check out my son Tyrone Jr. He's big on this at Tyrone Boyd 5513 on Instagram. And boom, I know you got a lot going on. What you got going on?
Man, listen, I always have a full week. So this upcoming weekend, I'm now booked to work the whole 4th of July weekend at Six Flags here in Maryland.
You said that,
so if you guys want to come down and hang out and party with me, I will be there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 12 to 8, turned all the way up. And then on Saturday, I got a solid headphone party down at Party HQ after Six Flags. So Saturday's going to be a pretty long day. But that's what I got going on this week.
Where's Six Flags?
Here in Maryland. It's actually not far from where you are now, Auntie.
Okay.
The man is the hardest working DJ in the world, people, so definitely check him out. On Debbie, is there some things you want to say?
And I want to know where your video is taking place. Is it in Ashbury Park? Like where do I show up with my outfit?
It's gonna be in Baltimore, folks. I'm gonna post all the information.
Oh, it's in Baltimore.
Yeah,
okay.
We're gonna be shooting in Baltimore live, and it's gonna be a big event. So you're gonna want to come. I'm gonna release all the information. Trust me, I'm gonna post it all because I want to get as many people there as possible.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And while I still have everybody's attention, I want to say go to my website, Hazy Trays, HAZYTRAZAYZ.com, and check out our products. We have products like these cutting, trimming trays with mashing ashtrays and bowls. And I don't know if you can see them. And these are the type of products we're selling for cannabis users. We could also customize them. Like this one.
I like it.
This has my image on it. We can make a custom. And it comes with the matching ashtray. So you can keep your product in here. You can cut and stash up right on these trays. They're beautiful and they're not that expensive. So check this out. That's hazytrays.com.
I like it.
You got anything you want to announce on, Debbie?
I'm good.
All right, folks. There you have it. And so remember, check us out every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on YouTube.
On YouTube and on Twitch.
And on Twitch. We're growing, folks. And we hope you're enjoying the show. We're working hard to make it interesting for you. And we look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. And hopefully you have those answers for Aunt Debbie. We definitely want to read them, y'all. All right? So we'll see y'all next weekend live from the shore to Be More. I'm Shaheem.
I'm the official DJ Boom.
And I'm Deborah Terry on Debbie.
and if you notice, I dropped the MC. I am now Shaheem. I outgrew that.
I noticed. I noticed.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Ready.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye.